Hi, my name is Greg Kiefer. I'm actually former CEO of Kiefer Consulting. This is video number 2 of the Management Information Systems Association presentation. We're actually using Kevin Bali's resume as a reference resume for doing this exercise. So what I'd like to do is actually go into CoPilot. I use CoPilot a lot instead of just ChatGPT. It's a Microsoft product. I have it because I also have Office 365. What I want to do is take Kevin's resume and actually paste it into um, the ChatGPT or CoPilot. And so I'll go out here to his resume, which I happen to have in Word. Go ahead and highlight everything. Control C. Go back to here, paste it in here, and say, hey, give me a list of prompts integrated in my resume that could potentially help me to improve it. If you haven't used CoPilot, it works just like ChatGPT. You provide a list of prompts, you provide some content, you can do different types of research. I don't use any of the other browser tools anymore. I just use CoPilot every day for all the stuff that I'm trying to accomplish. So let's go ahead and paste his resume in there as well. And let's go ahead and hit the enter key here. Hey, look at that solid resume. Really thinks I'm doing a good job here. So there should be some prompts in here as well. I'll just say integrate that into integrate these prompts into the resume. Sure. Hey, thanks, CoPilot. There should be the prompts integrated in here. I'll see them integrated. That's interesting. Yeah, we can go back to the prompts. We didn't do it this time. I did it last time. So this is kind of, consider, could you align your specific job descriptions to your targeting? For example, emphasize relevant security. The work section, you might have things resolved X server issues and uptime of such a date. Another thing, you might have some more class projects with additional prompts, and you can answer some of these other questions. So it kind of it does it different each time. It's kind of interesting. It shows you some of the certificates, but these are questions that as you're going through your resume, it helps you examine the resume and some of the content that you have in there. This is super cool to actually have a tool like this. I never had this when I was in school, so it's pretty neat. So let's ask it some more questions. Another question we want to ask it is, show me a list of jobs in Indeed that match my resume within 30 miles of Sacramento, California. See what it comes up with. It actually comes up with different ones all the time, also for two reasons. One is there's different jobs each day, but also I did this earlier and it came with a whole different profession, which I thought was odd. So here's a list of jobs. Volunteer assistant, relative, customer service representative, warehouse selector, Tesla's collision report center. I am looking for full-time jobs that are technology related and are in line with my resume. It's giving me some weird results, so we'll see what happens here. That's quite a bit better. Field technician for golf carts. Kind of funny. Why would it do that? Anyway, so there's a technical manager in there. Details, industrial requirement, focus, cybersecurity, compliance, standards. Man, this is totally different than what I got like even yesterday. So anyway, we can actually pick one of these jobs and say, show me a list of jobs. Which of these jobs am I most qualified for? So let's ask them, which of these jobs am I most qualified for, and rank them on a score of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. Look at that one. Network engineer operations. That looks pretty impressive. So what we're going to do is actually take that network engineering job and actually see how it can tailor our resume to help us maybe get that even to up a 9.5 or something. So I like to just add some more things. How do I increase my score? Increase my score for the first job listed and tailor my resume to get a 10 out of 10. So this is actually for the network engineer operations technology person. Focus on required skills, review the job description, and I can say enhance network reliability. This is some of the different things they're recommending. Design secure. I'll just say strengthen your qualifications in Cisco and some of the other things. So it's actually telling you what you need to do to actually improve your resume. So this is actually pretty cool. And I'll say, here's another one here is show the gaps in my resume as it relates to the first two jobs listed above. Network engineer. So job requirements are this: gaps in your resume, lack of specific WAN implementation. The second job is actually manufacturing and construction. So I actually went through the job description, compared to your resume, and said, what do you need to improve? So you might want to go back, look at the resume, make the changes, make some enhancements. So say, you know what, I'm going to get some more assistance here. I said, write my cover letter for the first job. So this is pretty cool here. Dear hiring manager, I want to express my interest in this network position. You can actually use it to write the cover letter. Obviously, you want to read it, make sure it's in alignment with what your skills are. Make sure that your everything is authentic and validated as well. So another one is actually, you can say some other things you might want to do with your resume is create write a creative story about me, my resume. That I might share with a prospective employer. This is actually taking your resume. It's kind of silly once upon a time. You're not going to start that way, but you actually might start it with some of the aspects of this. My first adventure took him, in this case, it's third person, to the halls of California Franchise Tax Board, where I worked as a student. Kevin was honored in this. Kevin's journey wasn't just about technical feats; it was about his vision. So again, you can take some of these things and use them in your cover letter, or in this case, a narrative from a storytelling standpoint, so you can actually connect with that audience. So another one here, I did the gaps, summarize. Can you summarize this? Summarize into a 1-minute story. It's kind of long. You're not going to have talk to the audience that long. You want to make sure it's pretty short. So here's a shorter version of it. Kevin might have used this in his presentation yesterday in the class, which I thought was really fun. Some other things you might want to do is you can do an exit interview, is draft a 30-second exit, they call it story or whatever, exit story that I can use after my interview. Thank you for taking your time. Again, this is something you might want to work on. Practice stuff like this. Go through various iterations of it so it actually speaks about who you are and some of your passions and some of your stories. Another one you might do, I just thought of this one, is I need to follow up with my interview for the first job. What should I say? Oh, dear hiring manager, I hope this message finds you well. So you might actually use it for this too when you're doing LinkedIn follow-ups. You're not going to send a letter, but you'll send an email. So you might use it for that as well. You want to make it as professional. You can do it in different voices as well. You might say from a professional standpoint, or maybe add some humor to it. You don't want to do that as part of a follow-up email, but you could if you really wanted to. Some other things we want to do is the trends. So Kevin's done a good job in school. He's written all his letters. He's done his interviews, but he was thinking about his future. So what we want to do is what trends in the industry should I consider investing further time in for future employment opportunities based on my resume? Go out there and look at trends. You want to see where these trends are coming from, but automation, AI, security, zero trust. So if you do get stuck in trying to find a job and you're trying to figure out where you want to go, you can actually go to here and you can actually look for different areas you didn't even think of looking at, maybe ethical hacking, penetration testing, data analytics, cybersecurity, DevOps, quantum computing. Would that be kind of fun too? So there's a lot of different things here, and here's some additional certifications you might want to get. Another one that's actually provide a list of companies that are currently hiring. We kind of did that with Indeed, or someone with my experience in the United States. I don't want to just do California. So I'm not sure where it's going to get this data from. Maybe it's going to use it from Indeed. Here's some remote positions. Here's some other ones. I've heard of some of these companies. Shriner Foundation, I've had Visual Edge, Accenture, I've heard of them. Federal services, that might get him into the FBI, which he was kind of looking at as well, and Jump Cloud. I do want to do one more prompt here. I'm going to kind of wrap this one up. This one here is actually based on my resume. What do I need to do over the next 5 years to become an expert in data analytics, and data analytics and AI? Show me a year by year breakdown. This was actually pretty good. This was so amazing. They actually went out there, found some different technologies, some of the ones that are popular. Python, R, those are always popular ones. Year 2, gain more experience. Year 3, focus on this. So if you're doing a plan for yourself of self-improvement, trying to maybe get the next job, take the next leap within an organization that you're currently working for, you might actually look at some of these things as well. You might also tie it to some of the data that they have in the organization on some of the career opportunities. And maybe review this with your manager once you get a job and say, hey, I'd like to try to continue to enhance my career and make myself more relevant. These are just a few of the things you can actually do. So one last question I had actually was which companies, I'll just like this, which companies do you think are in alignment with my core values? I'm not even sure what's going to find for that one. It's kind of vague. Here's some other ones here: technology, cybersecurity division, Google, Microsoft. These are all big companies. Might ask this another different type of question as well. Are there any small businesses that you can reference? This will be the last question I ask. So here's some other small business. I don't know any of these businesses, but this might also, if you don't work for a giant company, you want to work for a smaller company, you might do some research on some of these companies as well. That kind of wraps up the resume review. We're going to jump into the next session, which is video 3 on looking at his LinkedIn profile, Kevin Bali's LinkedIn profile as it compares to his resume, and look at some of the ways to potentially enhance that as well. Oops.